this really bizarre, because what else would it be if Matan is involved in it? Who also claims he's not Jewish. I don't think that's correct, but he says that in this video. I don't think it matters. He's crazy. Crazy is crazy. It's not going to surprise me that he's Jewish if he is. Matan finally gets roasted. Okay, so here he is. Now, this interview puts Clavicular in a good light. And this whole Mikey thing, which makes no sense to anybody except for these two fucking idiots who are probably fucking each other, or the guy who never shows his face, who looks like a Muslim, like he's a male who's forced into Sharia law. I think this was also happening. Like, I think they put these fake stages up and they travel. I think these are the people that travel. I don't think this is like obviously this isn't a permanent setup, but I think they like take the shit with them and go places and do this dumb shit. Because it looks like a $5 setup minus the microphones. And it's just ridiculous, but they do this all the time. It's always the same kind of like weird, like, it makes me think of like a terrorist threat video where they're talking about the hostage they're about to kill, and they're, you know, whatever the fake cutting off of a head or something. That's Matan for you. It says Matan finally confronts Clavicular. Yeah, okay. Here you get to understand that he's got patience and he's got a sense of humor and he's funny. It doesn't change the fact that he's also a maniac and saying really wrong things to children or young impressionable people. And he needs to take responsibility for who pays attention to him and who he influences when he decides to say and do what he does, because that's a responsibility that you end up having to adopt when you're in the public. You don't just get to have it both ways. Have a private life in the public where it influences people and not be held accountable for it. Right? All right.
So if you could just pull the mic close to you and introduce yourself and all that one.
Absolutely. How's it going, guys? I'm Clavicular. I post on, social media, and I mainly do live streaming.
And what do you post on there? What do people know you from?
They know me mostly from Looksmaxxing, from like black pill content.
And what does that mean for those who might not know?
Those who might not have autism. Looksmaxxing is like the furthest extent of male self-improvement, right? Taking things to the logical conclusion, right?
Conclusion.
Right, yeah. So in terms of self-improvement, what's commonly known is just basic, gym maxing stuff, maybe getting lean, maybe getting a little bit of a tan, but it's taking it a step further, pushing the limits a little bit, with pharmaceutical intervention, certain anabolic steroids, plastic surgery, kind of whatever is
right. And you said actually that you started steroids at 14 years old, right?
Correct. Yeah.
You think your parents made the right decision allowing you to take steroids at 14 years old?
Well, they didn't really allow me to do anything. I was just going to do it one way or another,
Oh, so you would have taken steroids regardless of if they allowed you to do it?
Well, they definitely didn't allow me.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
So you how were you getting steroids then at 14?
Well, so there's this thing called general delivery at the post office where you can have them hold it there. I would usually just go pick it up.
And you were just able to order this online?
Correct.
Wow, is this something you recommend for other 14-year-olds to do?
No. So there's a lot...
Because most parents are unreasonably like, hey, I don't want my 14-year-old son on steroids. It's like, how do we change their minds?
Unreasonably. No, I'd say that's extremely reasonable. The thing is... Yeah, that's very reasonable. I never advocate for that sort of intervention that early because, well, there is a lot that you can get out of, taking steroids, taking different peptides, growth hormone at a young age. A lot of people aren't going to have the knowledge to be able to do things properly, and they wind up detrimenting themselves and not really ascending or Looksmaxxing properly. So I would say that the IQ gap...
So what you're saying is that the issue with taking steroids at 14 years old is that most people won't have the knowledge of how to do it correctly.
Correct.
But if they were as smart as you, they could actually do it and it would be beneficial.
Well, that sounds like me being a kind of a dickhead, being egotistical, but
no, not even just you specifically. Just more people generally should take steroids at 14 years old. They're just not smart enough.
Not
to
necessarily steroids, but certain things that elevate growth pathways, like human growth hormone,
right,
are actually commonly prescribed. So those can be phenomenal during development.
Scientists have now confirmed that while taking meth will make you less hungry, it will also make you completely insane. Is the trade still worth it?
Arguably so, because lean is law, right? Have you heard that saying before?
Lean is what?
Lean is law.
Yeah, I feel like there's better ways to get lean than taking meth.
Like what?
Maybe just dieting correctly.
Died incorrectly? Well, yeah, there's certainly... this guy's kind of freaking me out
He's
over here.
neck maxing.
Did you give him meth?
No, yeah, but I didn't give it to him. He's on it, but like not microdosing, whatever that means, like you.
He's mega dosing. Teradosing.
Yeah, he's
even.
max dosing.
Yeah, he's maxing.
He's trying to make his neck longer.
How's that going for him?
I mean, his neck is bright red, so I guess maybe it's where I don't know how that works. You would know better than me.
Yeah, neck maxing. I haven't really seen anyone going for more length on their neck, but certainly an interesting one. I'll have to look into that after the podcast.
Right. So you're autistic, right?
Yeah, I'm neurodivergent. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, you seem like a guy with.
I would challenge that and say bullshit. He needs an edge. He needs something to make him seem special and different, like a unique fucking snowflake. And I think he's an insult to people who truly are. I was called that myself. I was called all those stupid words. What do you accept and what don't you accept? And is it an excuse after the fact when he leads people astray? Oh, I was autistic. Why'd you file me anyway? Why'd you listen to me in the first place? Seems like it's already like a preset cop out. Oh, why are you picking on the guy with the thing? He's the guy with the thing. Why would you pick on him? You know? I think they like this better today. I guess maybe because from my perspective, if I was called this as well, and when you look at the spectrum, they say that you have a high resistance toward authority, or you have a problem with authority. Well, that means is that you don't just accept what they tell you blindly and shrink in intellectual inferiority. What it's saying is that there are certain people that are born who do not take to the programming of the spell that's over all the rest of mankind. And there truly is one of those things. There's a spell over the majority of people. Look around you. You know this is to be true. When you're one of those, when we are, and I guarantee you lots of people who are watching this are in that category, when it just never took. It never took to you. Rather than the world being screwed up and there's an issue and you recognize it, no, they have to do everything they can to convince you first, and then the rest of the people as well who are in the spell that there's something wrong with you and that it's a mental condition or it's a spectrum condition. The spectrum's like playing the wheel when you're going the gamble. When it's like, it's like, yeah, well, just about anything goes. And anything that has an attribute back to something that's not favorable to them can be attributed to, it's because you have a problem you were born with, and instead of being exceptional, you have a disorder. Doesn't make any sense. So when you have a high resistance to lies, the other nonsense that they put you under the spell with that you don't question, you're under the ether, you're like, it's like them trying to give you anesthetic and you're still sitting up in the bed like, what are you doing? And they'll get mad and try to give you a higher dose and it doesn't work. So, now you're just unmanageable. That's neurodivergent. There's an actual name for people who they say, like something, is it oppositional defiance? Is it the same thing that Davis talks about? Which sounds like you're saying the same thing twice in my mind. But they call it a certain type of disorder, which is not a disorder. It's just being awake to the bullshit so that when they're trying to put you under the ether and make you obey and believe everything that they're telling you, and that you have to listen rather than to think independently, and you're looking at them like they're retarded because it doesn't take to you. Or when you're a child and you're born and everything is terrifying because you realize just how evil everything is around you, and the things that are acting upon your family and the things that you and the people you love, you can sense the evil in the environment, and it makes you kind of very awkward. That's also being they call that a neurodivergent. No, it's just you were born awake. You weren't supposed to be awake during the surgery, okay? But you are. Welcome to Ballbusters. Welcome to Bros Shows, because you're one of us. This kid is not that. I'm sorry to say. No, he's not. Because I happen to know what the difference, because I am, and mostly probably all of you guys are too, to at least to a degree. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to me.
Probably decent self-control when it comes to this stuff. I mean, your entire life revolves around it. Why do you take meth and not just not eat?
Well, so the reason for meth, and this is a prescription
That would
from
be
my
meth.
doctor, right? We're not just using street drugs and a ridiculous.
Could you be have an interview where you have this mental patient with the bugged out like thyroid eyes, and this guy over here who's just sitting there like a like he's a IDF soldier ready to kill somebody, or he's really taking Sharia law really seriously, and then this guy with his weird hair and his dirty ass old sneakers, like what part of this allows you to just be calm and ignore all that? And not to mention the fact that it looks like you're in a kill room that Dexter put up with freaking plastics.
Context, right? To go out and party. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So,
See who you get.
oh, you want me to open it?
I want to get the toilet guy.
Is this a bomb or something?
No. Who did you get? Yes!
Awesome.
Yes!
All right.
It was a 1 in 4. I got it.
1 in 4 chance.
Yes!
That's right.
Give it
Yes,
back.
give me
to me. I
toilet.
want it.
Okay, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Another nonsense thing that came out of Roblox.
Yeah, so the thing about this is very similar to dextroamphetamine. It's just we're taking dextromethamphetamine. So that addition of the methyl group to the compound essentially just makes it longer acting, cross the blood-brain barrier a little bit quicker, and, give us a little bit more appetite suppression over a longer duration of time.
But why don't you just suppress your appetite by just naturally, you know what I mean? Instead of taking these medicines?
Right, because he doesn't want to have to work to do anything, so he can't effectively say that he just has, like most people would pride themselves on having willpower. He says, fuck willpower, Ozempic. Fuck willpower, meth. I don't want to be fat. I want to suppress my appetite. Like anybody could, good. Get the Primatine tabs that I was talking about. You want to suppress your appetite? Get the Primatine tabs. Take your 90 essential nutrients so that you don't have cravings because of mineral deficiencies and vitamin deficiencies that your body's asking for, so that it can run the processes and healing and repair that has to constantly go on in your body. And if it's not getting what it needs from your diet, maybe stop giving it the 12 bad foods that cause inflammation, that cause more of your nutrients to have to be utilized in order to repair your body. Cholesterol isn't the killer. It's inflammation. So if you continually inflame your body, well, cholesterol is actually saving your life because it's putting it like a Band-Aid patch over the inflammation. But if every time you eat, or often when you eat, you're eating fried foods or some other thing that's causing inflammation, a lot of free radicals, a lot of oxidative stress, well, that means another layer of cholesterol has to go on top of the old layer, and that's when you get clogged arteries. But if it wasn't for the cholesterol at all, you'd be fucking dead. The inflammation would get out of control. So knowing that, and if you do know that now, just clean up your diet. Get onto Dr. Glidden's membership. Get the 90 essential nutrients from Azure Well that you see on my website, semperfryllc.com. The whole food multivitamin, like I said now, and Mike was right, there is copper in it now. 4 milligrams. There used to be like less than 1 milligram in the previous batch, but now there's 4. And Dr. Monzo had also said to me to let people know that, because we're also waiting on the core copper to come back in. Because you know how awesome that is? You know how awesome the people who actually watch Ballbusters and Bro shows are? They're probably I guarantee you, they're the ones that are responsible for core copper being out of stock, and why the beef liver went out of stock right afterward, because that's the other one that had copper in it. And I told people about it, and the next thing you know, that one's went out of stock. That's kind of an odd thing to be out of stock, because most people wouldn't understand that unless they were listening to somebody talk about it, which means a lot of people are paying attention to the show, which is awesome. I want more healthy people. I want more people to understand how health really works, so that they can't be led astray by gimmicks, fads, and bullshit. And so that they won't do dangerous things with their bodies in an effort or a desperation to try to looksmax and harm themselves. This is not necessary. 90 essential nutrients. Your body's strong, you're going to get sick less, and you're going to have less ghrelin or whatever that triggering enzyme is that tells you to eat. You're not going to have pica like the animals do. The animals, they get fed nutrients and minerals in their feed. And then when they want to fatten them up for market, when they go to sell them, they take the minerals out of the food. And then the animals won't stop eating because there's not enough sustenance in the food themselves. Plenty of calories, plenty of, filler, like to make them feel full, but not enough of the nutrients that they need. So they just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then they get fat. And sometimes they feed them bullshit, like food and like candy from that's still in wrappers during this time before they fat them up for market. So it's ruining the meat that you're getting. It's ruining the animal. If it's ruining the meat and the muscle of the animal, it's ruining the animal's health too. And it's also the same time where they have this thing called pica, where the animals start chewing on the wood, in the barns or whatever. If there's wood in the barn, that's kind of like an older thing to even have wood in the barn. You just all metal grates and gates. Not if there's posts in the ground for like a fence, they would be found chewing on those or eating rocks off the ground and gravel and shit like that because they're craving minerals. So it's a real thing. So think about it in terms of you. You're the same thing, except you're going into your pantry and then you're going to the refrigerator, opening the door and staring at it for 20 minutes and then shutting it again and walking around and pacing around and doing it again. It's like something's not right. Something's not right. You have an urge, you have an impulse, but you don't particularly want anything in particular because you don't know what the hell you want. And then you end up eating something, or you go for sweets, which is like the worst thing. Don't do that to yourself. Get the 90 essential nutrients in you, clean up your diet, be consciously aware of what the 12 bad foods are, and then pick a diet that works for you that you can follow. And I can help you with that, by the way. I can help you with that. Get onto the Patreon. Instead of just doing that, he's going to take meth. Like, all you have to do is make sure, people have no concept of this, and yet he's the smart guy. He have no concept of the 90 essential nutrients because science didn't tell him it. Do you see how that makes a fatal flaw in his intellect claims? If you were smart, you would be like me and everybody watching this, smart enough to understand that you can't trust the system and that you would be suspicious of them in the first place for wanting to convince you of anything. Because people want to convince you of something are inherently, usually, typically evil. Why do they care what you think? Why are they trying to manipulate you? So you should be suspicious of the system itself, and you should also be questioning it and doing your own independent research, showing that you've taken the initiative to actually know what you say before you say it. But it's really easy to just accept something that you heard because it sounds good to you. This is a very immature way about going through things. He's already arrested development, stunted his mental growth through the steroids, not to mention other things. So he's not going to really progress the way other people are. He's 19 now. He might be able to fake it in a world full of stupid people to make himself seem smart for quite a while into his older age, but his mental maturity is done. He's already affected himself pre-puberty with all the wrong things. And he's doing meth. This isn't a way to maturity. This is a way to hide. This is a way to be, to on the outside, look confident, and on the inside, be a scared little boy. And it's unfortunate, but he's not a neurodivergent. He's not all these things that, he wasn't born awake, as they say. And as when you really get down to the spectrum, that's really what they're talking about. The spectrum doesn't even include Asperger's, which is what I also was told I had. Down with ODD. There's actually that guy who used to make videos, like the one about pharmakia, ODD. Yeah, ODD TV. It's your fucking term, retard fucking system, and you're not even going to give me the answer? What the hell is this? Odd? No, forget oppositional defiant disorder. This is it. Yeah, oppositionally defiant. So this is what Davis talks about. Co-occurring with autism spectrum disorder, which are all things that they made up, which is bullshit. Every fucking thing that they diagnose you with is not real. It's made up. It's a word to describe a concept, a collection of, in a vague, in a generalized collection of symptoms. And if you are difficult for them, when it comes into like the psychiatry thing, when it comes to like what they're going to call a mental disorder, they're always going to throw it back on you. It's not the system that's the problem. It's not the system that's crazy. It's not the system that's evil and wants to kill you. You're just paranoid. You have anxiety and you have a paranoia problem, right? A child with autism also exhibits persistent patterns of angry, irritable moods. Argumentative, yeah, God forbid you question things. Defiant behavior or vindictiveness towards authority figures, meaning vindictiveness towards people who wish to do you harm and you recognize it for what the fuck it is. That's what it means, which can look like intense tantrums, refusing rules. Right. So if you don't put on the mask, you're refusing rules. If you don't shelter in place, you're refusing rules. If you better be hopeful and grateful that you have people who are considered ODD in your freaking society, because without them, everybody would be fucking flushed down the toilet by these demons. It's the outliers that have been born awake that they call a disorder because you were born unable to be programmed and unable to be conditioned. It's because of us that that other people even have a tether to reality, have a bridge to come across to understand that they don't have to live the way these pieces of shit have conditioned the spell of this world, of their reality, which is the artificial reality. You don't have to be stuck in that bubble with them. And you don't have to sit down in their classroom and take in the conditioning and the programming. You don't have to do it. But you have to be wise enough and pure enough of mind to understand and recognize when it's happening to you. Because if you don't, then you were kind of made for the system. Not to say that if the grid ever gets shut down on them, meaning like their spell casting abilities over the people, the media, their spell, if it gets shut down, then people probably can be rehabilitated. But while that's present, there's people that will always be magnetically drawn to it, and they won't be able to think outside of it, which is sad. It's unfortunate because it's why we're losing. This is exactly why we're losing. If you want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, this is why we're losing. Because these types of freaking demons do this all too well. And as soon as you're born, they're going to put injections of poison that's going to alter you from your natural state. They're going to try to inject your mom while she's pregnant with you. They're going to try to do all kinds of horrible shit. This is why we had a birthing plan from our daughter. The world is out to get you. That might sound paranoid, but doesn't mean it's not true. Healthy understanding of living in a hostile environment, and when it's only paranoia because not everybody recognizes it for what it is. Otherwise, it would just be understood as this is the situation in which we are born in. We are born into captivity. We were born into a slave system. We were born into poisoning and ritual and dark magic and spell casting. And if that's all we're saturated with from the time we're born and injected with from the time we're born, that's all we're ever going to know. But there are people who are born sometimes who absolutely reject this programming and reject everything that there is about being here, and can't be shut down. They can't be completely beaten down or adopt or be, put under the ether or under the spell of the society. And they have to try to operate with everybody else and feel and try to appear normal so as not to get people suspicious of them and see them as the threat, when in reality, the system is the threat. We're just different. It didn't take to us. This kid is not that at all. Coming from somebody who understands it, he's not it. Not it. Did I finish? No, let's see. Refusing to rules or deliberately annoying others. Yeah, that's called sociopathic behavior too. Like, being what they call a reactionary. Right? You like to see how you like to see the response in others. Making it a significant behavior. Well, let's think about it this way. If you are wide awake, doesn't that make you more intelligent than everybody else who doesn't see it already? It doesn't that over time of a lifetime. I'm 46 now. Don't you think that there's times in my younger days where I felt maybe obnoxiously superior to other people because they were that fucking gone into the system of the spell? And do you think that maybe during those times I felt a lot of resentment for other human beings? Because I saw all of our problems being because these people just don't see what the problems are and they support the things that cause the problems. And how I would advocate personally for eugenics myself if I was able to be the one who decided and selected what the hell the problems were. Meaning getting rid of not the people that are that are the victims of the system, but rather the ones who create the victims. Getting rid of them would be a good start because it's okay to not be, whatever, independently minded as such, as long as you're not being influenced to be either neutral, useless, or an antagonist to those who know better. And we can build a society once we get rid of if ever eugenics was a thing that I controlled, it would be people who are doing all the harm would be the ones that would be removed from the equation, not the people that they've harmed, that they've manipulated. And that's the difference. I would never take, well, for the most part, people are effectively innocent when they're born. You can't blame them for the roller coaster life that they've had. Imagine being awake through that surgery. Hi. If you want to talk about like a hell on earth nightmare, be 100% aware of how evil the intent of people are. Be consciously aware of how wicked the intent is of people, and they don't even realize it. They don't recognize, but that they're serving something else that has that much of an intent of doing harm and being, having dark mockery and all that all the time. And they just see it as commonplace because this is just what you do. This is the system. The system tells you to give your kids a shot. Do this, do that. And they haven't even overplayed their card by telling children, still, there hasn't been a revolt and there hasn't been a mass execution of the people that are responsible yet for grooming children and telling the parents that they have no say in their gender, and then stealing those children or having gender reassignment occurring against the parents' permission. This is something that still hasn't sparked a revolution. All they had to do is make the money of the colonies null and void the first time around. And people say it's because of taxes. No, it's because they wouldn't allow. They basically outlawed the currencies unless you were taking British currency. That way they could retain the power. They didn't want you to have your own independent currencies. And of course, King George, I think the third at the time, he was heavily invested in the Bank of England. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been a king in the first place. The Bank of England was what was important there because the Jews are running everything. While ODD is a separate diagnosis, its behaviors, defiance, and anger. See how they disparage people who are awake? It's like being in an insane asylum, but you don't belong there because everyone else is the fucking crazy person. You understand? But what you're trapped in is society, and you're fighting against the insanity that people don't see. They can't even look at their own actions and reflect upon there's no self-awareness to what they're actually doing and saying and thinking and feeling. It's like they're just in a very smooth, steady, humming Stupor often overlap with autism, requiring careful assessment to distinguish from anxiety-driven reactions or sensory overload. This kid is not a neurodivergent. He's a Mr. Potato Head who thought he could become a Ken doll because he's changing around his parts. He's moving around his parts on his face to make himself look more like... I'm not going to say it, but it's more like Aryan, not Giga Chad. Giga Chad is a stupid word. Stupid term. There you go. If that's not Aryan with a tan, I don't know what the fuck else is. That's Aryan with a tan. That's what it is. They changed it a little bit so that they could once again rob our people and our heritage of anything positive, of a positive influence on the people. If the only way you can find a picture of somebody who looks like your ancestors is through AI, and there's no actual people remaining who look like that, we're fucked. That's AI. That's AI. AI. So blonde hair, blue eyed, Aryan type. That's cartoons now, kids. We're all fucking dead.
Well, why do anything that's going to give you results quicker, right? So why take TRT? Why take steroids? We can
But
apply
is
this
this going to give you a result? You're saying it's going to suppress your appetite. It's not going to make you lose weight. It's just going to help you not lack the self-control, basically, because you're not going to have the urge to do it. If you had enough self-control, you wouldn't need this at all. It won't get you there quicker. You know what I'm saying?
Incorrect, right? So
no, it's not incorrect. It's exactly true.
You're going to be allowed to push further into caloric deficit, get leaner quicker.
So how is that not the exact same thing he said? If you're not getting the impulse to eat, yes, the effect is what you're saying. So how does he say incorrect to that? If you just had the willpower, or if you had other things like, I don't know, the ephedrine HCl, if you exercised and did cardio, you will suppress your own appetite just by doing that. He doesn't want to do work for anything, and he wants to take drugs, and he wants to inject. He's a needle freak. He likes injecting himself with things, and I hope he really likes it because he's going to be doing it for the rest of his goddamn short-ass life.
But
that wasn't a threat. He's chosen his longevity, not me.
What I do, what works for me. I'm not advising anyone to do this. I advise people so heavily against stimulant usage. I don't think that people should be taking Adderall.
But that's like do as I say, not as I do. You don't do that to younger people. That's like you smoking in front of your child and saying, "Don't smoke, son," or "Don't smoke, daughter." Yeah, but they look up to you. They emulate you. They are a reflect. They sponge up everything that you give out. So, of course, if something reminds them of you, they're gonna do it. If they are offered a cigarette by one of their friends, and they've seen their mom or dad smoking, they're gonna be more likely to take it and light it up. Just remember that. It's all these things that are like embedded into our psyche that make us so lovingly connected to each other, but so tragically manipulated by our environments in our system or the influences of socialization. Like, I don't think it's okay I don't think kids should be in a public school. I don't think kids should be even in my daughter's school, honestly. I think they should be home being taught, because I think it's not even a think. All children are raised differently with different values. Not everybody's you. Not everybody has the inherent, voice in your head that's telling them to do the right thing. Not everybody had your parents, and my parents were fucking awesome. Not everybody had, and I had two sets of them. I was more fortunate. I have a great stepmom and a great dad, and a great stepdad and a great mom. And I had a great, amazing grandmother and an amazing grandfather as well. And an amazing aunt until they killed her. Until these fucking bastards in the allopathic medical death cult killed her. I had great people raising me. I won the fucking lottery. Now, not everybody has that. And some people, and I hate to say this, but it's not everybody, but a lot of people are very smug and obnoxiously arrogant, and they teach that to their children just by being that way. They don't exactly teach the kids to be that way, but they're just that way around others, and their children see that and they copy it. So if you're a Mexicana who technically shouldn't fucking be here at all, and you're getting the world handed to you, and you're making $4,000 without lifting a fucking finger, and you're driving a $50, $60, $120,000 fucking truck, and I'm driving around my shitbox van, yeah, you know what? You probably have a lot of animosity towards people who look like me and my child, because we're in your way because you think this is your place. Right. And they shouldn't be mingling. And there's a million other different types of people that shouldn't be interacting with your child, because it wouldn't be a natural state in a home. In a family unit, the family's values are all that the child is surrounded with. You can't go 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and expect to have your child stay the same. They're going to be more like everybody else and less like you. They're going to be more like the fucking corrupted, diseased system and less like your loving family that you grew up in and knew about. And you'll be like, well, I went to school. It was a different time. There weren't cell phones. You're already battling against all these other social influences. The world's changed. Remember back when you used to be outside all the time until dark? Well, that doesn't happen anymore. Children barely even see the sunlight unless they're playing a sport during recess. I mean, we do things differently in our home. We have lots of activities, but it doesn't take a. I don't see my daughter, nearly enough, and I live with her. And I don't like the idea that the school gets to see my daughter more than I do. Yeah, I'm jealous. Because I should be the one influencing her, not them. Not the kids that she's sitting next to. Not the teacher with her fucking soft head. None of that. So saying do as I say, not as I do, I never advocate for that. Oh, that's your pass? That's your cop-out? You know people are going to do what you're doing because they want the results that you have. And they're going to associate, even if it's incorrect and erroneous, that your success is based on the things that you advocate or that you say you don't advocate for, but you discuss all the time. So they're going to do everything that you do to try to be like you. And now I'm glad that you can't have children right now. And I hope that you never can, because I have a hard time believing that you could be concerned or care about anything but yourself, buddy. Because right now you basically do have a whole lot more children than most people do, and you're leading them all astray like the Pied Piper of the apocalypse is fucking walking them into the ocean to drown them.
I think that the prescription rate of Adderall is absurd, and I think it leads people down the wrong path.
So people generally shouldn't be doing drugs.
No, absolutely not. Okay, I'm just very open and honest about what I do.
Oh, look at how wonderful you are. He's always praising himself in an offhand way, right?
I on pretty often.
It depends on what you would categorize as often, but from like a normie perspective, probably.
Like more than once a week?
Yeah, I'd say probably twice a week.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty often. I mean,
right.
I'm not trying to say you're a hypocrite. If you're saying for most people not to do it, then that's good. It's just like, I don't know, that's pretty often. Twice a week? What are you going to, I mean,
meth.
Are you not scared you're going to get addicted?
No, I have a lot of self-control and will.
You have so much self-control that you do meth 2 times a week more than anybody else that doesn't do meth. Because you don't need it, right? You love the benefits of it. You like the way it makes you feel, but you're not addicted to it. Yet you do it twice a week. And that's what you admit to, not what you're actually on. And the fact that you've done live streams and your mental capacity has been way different than it is right now goes to prove that you were probably most certainly on something, coke or fucking meth at that time too. And you've even stated as such, whenever you say something that you regret saying, you say, oh, I was fucked up at that time. Well, that's the you that you're presenting to your young followers as well. You get that, right? You're not blameless in this, bud.
Power, right? That's why I'm just like, this is what I do. I have strong will, okay? But most out there are unable to control themselves. You see this with the obese.
Is he like an attention seeker, needer? Is he just a fucking idiot? Is he playing a part? What is this? I mean, I get that he does this all the time, and this is the whole purpose, is to make us look at it. But who would think of this and then just do this? Like, I'm going to bug my eyes out, and I'm going to pull on my throat and, sit on the chair and sit in the chair instead of on the, hug it. And sometimes when Togi was on, he was standing over him and giving that weird look. And it's like this thing here, this thing here. This is just, it looks like you're about to be assassinated. It looks like you're about to get your head cut off by the fucking, by a bunch of Jews pretending to be Muslims.
Obesity rates, how gluttonous people are. They can never just have one chicken finger. It's got to be, 20. Or they can never have one Oreo. They eat the entire box.
They can never have.
Well, that's exactly what you were before you started doing all these injectables and taking meth. Is that you couldn't just suppress your own appetite or not even have to, just decide that you weren't going to do a certain thing. You shortcut and cheat code everything, and then again showing that you had never used willpower or effort to acquire anything, and you're thinking you're doing smarter, not harder. And he totally does not praise hard work. He says he has no respect for it. How is he building any type of... Everything about this kid bothers me. How are you building any type of maturity, making yourself better, making yourself more of a man? I mean, the guy puts makeup on. Why do I think he cares about making himself more like a man? He wants to be a Twilight vampire.
On coke, they need... I don't even know. I don't know what's the example there.
Okay, well, that's probably a good thing that you don't know.
Yeah, I'm not high on coke. I've never done coke. I've never drunk alcohol. I'm very sober, but...
Congratulations. That's what I recommend. I think alcohol is one of the most underrated, evils of this generation, simply due to the fact that people start consumption so early into their life, and it's extremely neurotoxic. It's horrible for your growth pathways, and it really fucks people over.
Sometimes even at 14 years old.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's true. Arguably, alcohol is much worse. No, I was going to say then taking something like testosterone or human growth hormone.
So here's the problem with that logic is that if you drink some wine or a beer or a fucking bottle of vodka, you're not now having to drink a bottle of vodka every week or month for the rest of your life. And if you do, if you don't, you grow tits. No, it's not the same as doing testosterone. It's not equated in any way, shape, or form. Alcohol doesn't give you muscles, and testosterone doesn't give you whatever. It doesn't. It does. None of those things have anything to do with each other. It's not a good example. It's not to say that testosterone is better for you than drinking alcohol is retarded. Now, I don't drink alcohol. Not anymore, but I did. I mean, I haven't for I had a hard cider, 2 bottles of hard cider over the course of October because it was autumn, and I haven't before that. It was 10 years. It was 10 years since the last time I had something to drink, and I enjoyed it when I was in my 20s. But I don't think I even started drinking until I was about 20, and then I was in the Coast Guard, and then I got out. And I drank like a little fishy for a little while, and I was fine with that. And I was and then when I started going to the gym in 2002 to 2005, I stopped drinking again. At least for a full year. I may have done it a little bit every once in a while after that, but for a full year as I was training, I didn't touch it. So it doesn't make any sense what he's saying.
Early age. Much more detrimental, and you see it
more detrimental than the
commonly.
Stop, fuck off.
Is someone cooked if they're missing their nose?
If they're missing their nose,
yes,
I would certainly suggest that. Yeah.
How do you know? It seems like you didn't even have an example of that.
If they're missing their nose, I mean, I don't know. What are we talking about? Burn victims or?
No, a guy doesn't have a nose. Sort of looks like Voldemort.
I would say that he would definitely be approaching the sub-5 looks range without a nose.
But isn't it most people want a small nose? Isn't that the ideal shape? Small pointed nose.
It's a little bit more nuanced than that, but generally, yeah.
So isn't it even better if you don't have a nose?
If you don't have a nose.
Yes.
I would say that having a nose is definitely an aesthetic trait, but just not like a big old schnoz, you know?
Yeah, but isn't it you want to take it to the max level?
Not
Isn't
necessarily.
level 100 here? The max level is no nose?
It's all about measurements. It's all about objectivity, right? So falling within the ideal ratios, that's what you're going for, right? So you have a good nose. You didn't get the brutal physiognomy of, your genetics. Because
I'm not Jewish if that's what you're going for.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not Jewish, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm related to whatever this thing is.
And what is that thing?
I don't know. It looks like I don't even know. I'm just so excited that I got him. Skibidi toilet. Because that's what the kids like. So I'm going to do a giveaway.
Let's do it.
So anybody who comments on this video has a chance to win this.
Is he wearing capri pants, or is this the style to have it, right all the way up to your friggin' kneecap when you're sitting down?
Skibidi toilet figurine.
Nice.
Who do you think is the most attractive man in the world?
The most attractive man in the world? I would say that in terms of harmony percentage, it's like a very objective thing. This is not really based on like an opinion of mine. Would be Matt Balmer scores the highest. I think
Isn't this a little gay?
I could see how it would appear that way at first glance, but it's all based on mathematics, so it's not like a attractive.
Who do you think?
So math isn't gay, everybody. No, I know he's trying to trap him with this. He should have said, instead of saying attractive, good looking. Because attractive implies that you're attracted to it, rather than you can recognize good looks in somebody else and be it's just an observation. It's not because you have any thoughts in it, but if you're asked to think about it and you do, then you'll say, okay, it's this person. But what he's saying here is like, don't you think that's a little gay? And then his response is just all based on math. That was a really stupid excuse. Yes, because math would also be measuring the guy's schlong and the length of his eyebrows and how big his lips are. That's kind of gay too, isn't it? But that's math, so it's not gay now.
The most attractive man in the world.
Well, I would say that the most mog person. Yeah, when you phrase it like that, it does sound a little bit homosexual. But when you just say who mogs the hardest, I would say probably like a Tyler Mayer.
This is homosexual on your end, no?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay, fine. Can you give me your top 5 most attractive men that you like?
Well, you see, your phrasing is a little bit. That
How am I phrasing that?
Top 10 most attractive men you like. Matan's kind of funny in this one. He likes to go around making other people feel inferior to him. Tell me that's not an inferiority of himself. He literally says when he's on the other on the other interview, I spend a lot of time, I'm wasting my time, but I know because I love doing it. I go out, I love mogging people. So what he's saying is, he likes to make other people feel beneath him. He wants to hurt people's feelings because he needs them to feel bad for him to feel good. It's not just him being confident in how he looks when he goes out. That's enough. No, he actually has to harass people in order to feel better. So he's the asshole that talks shit, who looks like he's a freaking, in a frat house, that you end up wanting to murder, but you're not 100% sure if you can box. So you hesitate and you watch him for a while.
Top 5 most attractive men who you like the most?
Yeah. In your opinion.
That's definitely homosexual.
I didn't say anything about homosexual. This is objective, right?
Well, in the way that I'm phrasing it, but just how you're asking the question is homosexual.
Okay, fine. Can you give me the top 5 men that you're most attracted to?
Okay, there we go.
Go ahead.
So you're really doubling down on that. So like I said, it's all mathematics. Like, people can sit here and cope. A lot of normies do. Especially a lot of women have been throwing that, name calling around. Oh, you're a homosexual because I'm
not calling you a homosexual.
Well, no, I'm saying in general. Like, people on Twitter will say that, like, because I've had a lot of viral clips of me rejecting like atrocious looking women and having standards for myself. And they'll be like, "Oh, dude, she's beautiful. You must be a homosexual." And it's like,
or it's not his type, which is fine. But definitively, I mean, obviously, there's obvious people who are not attractive, and there's standards that anybody can have. You don't have to be putting yourself through tons of surgeries and never being satisfied with yourself, and then claim that it's because you want to be mogging people that you're doing it. That sounds like you're coping yourself, but it also seems like you've got tremendous body dysmorphia, and it's not just about being objectively smart and optimizing because I can and I understand how to do it. Yeah, okay. A lot of people would weigh the pros and cons a little bit here. Invasive surgery for things that aren't broken, only to look more Aryan when you're not. What are we doing here, bud? And if you're already quote unquote mogging people, is it the outliers that are still cooler than you that you're trying to take down? Well, then get in the gym, because you're not gonna win anything unless you know how to box. If you have scrawny ass frame like that, dude. So, I mean, at 6'2", are you concerned about the 6'6" guy? What are you doing?
No, I just have some standards for myself. I like women with a little bit of class. It's the same thing when you start talking about aesthetics, which is all based upon mathematics. It's like they just throw around homosexual.
He's not even a man yet, and he's talking about women. He's 19. Why is he out at clubs in the first place? Because he's lying his way through life.
Because they don't fall within.
You're saying that
I didn't do this. I didn't go to bars underage. I never did that because I didn't care. My parents went to a restaurant anyway. But I mean, they got rid of that before I was old enough to even consider drinking. But it's not like I wasn't in that atmosphere previously. And it's not like we didn't have a bunch of stuff from when we sold the place that we still had in the house. If I wanted to drink alcohol, there was plenty of opportunities for me to sneak it anytime I wanted to. I didn't care about it. And then when I got into the Coast Guard and it was like when in Rome type of deal, man, I did all kinds of stuff, including ecstasy for the first time. And the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth and the seventh and the eighth and the ninth and probably the 20th and the 30th and 40th. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And then I stopped drinking because it was like screwing up the ecstasy. Then ruined it.
Mathematically, there's going to be some guys that you're more attracted to than women. Because the woman is ugly and there can be a man that scores so high in the rating that you're going to be more attracted to him than a very unattractive woman.
That's not how it works. That would be how it would work if I was a homosexual, but
I don't understand the difference.
And bisexual just means you're gay, and also put it in women. You're still gay.
Saying that there's
between
some women
homosexual and not
between you and a homosexual.
Well, because we're not talking about sexuality, we're talking about objective numbers.
Yeah, I'm saying that somebody is so objectively attractive, even if they're a man, that you'll like them.
It's not necessarily attractive. It's more harmonious. Is probably.
But you are attracted to them.
See, he's not even smart enough to explain himself to basically a heckler or a shitter right here, a shit talker. You know, he's purposely messing with them, but he's still not smart enough to pick the right words. Like you could say. And he's using the word objective, but there's other ways of saying this. Like attractive is implying that you are attracted to them. But you can recognize somebody who has, what do you call it? Good looks without being attracted to them. So you could say this person doesn't look like a piece of fucking dog shit, right? Is that gay to say that? Is that true in reality that they don't look like a rotten piece of dog shit? Like there's other ways of like working his way through here that he just completely abandons, because I don't think he has half the intellect he pretends that he has. But
they're so harmonious, no?
No, that's not necessarily how it works. I could get how this could be confusing to you, but so we're talking about who falls within a certain set of ideals.
I understand, but I'm saying because they're so ideal, you're attracted to them.
Doesn't seem like you do understand, because
you're saying that there's an objective set of things that would make somebody attractive.
That would make someone good looking, correct?
Yeah.
Say good looking.
And I'm saying that because they're objectively good looking, you're attracted to them.
That's not correct, because I'm not a homosexual. I know this is hard, but just bear with me. The only
thing I'm struggling with here to understand.
It seems like you're struggling with the entire.
No, premise. I get the whole concept, just not the part about you not being a homosexual.
No, it really doesn't seem like.
I mean, this guy's a fucking weirdo, but that was pretty funny.
Think you get it at all?
I get the entire thing about how the look.
Listen, it's okay. I know we're moving quickly here, and
he's talking down to him too, which again is kind of obnoxious because he's smart enough to play this game and play the role of someone who's dumb who just asks random shit, but it isn't as dumb as he looks, right, or as he acts. And then when he does say something to kind of hit on the mark, he still talks down to him, and that just shows to me that he honestly either doesn't get the joke. He's not in on it, meaning he doesn't. His comprehension isn't there to realize what's happening to him. It's
all new concepts. I'm sure most of the viewers don't know, but I'll slow it down for you if you want, and we could really get into it. And I could.
Is this working?
This neck maxing?
Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, no. So like at first glance, like when we lay out all this new information, it kind of like mind fucks people. You can see that's happening to you a little bit. Like you don't really understand.
I understand the entire concept. I get the whole thing.
It just doesn't seem like it seems like you're saying one thing, but you're articulating another. Like,
okay, I'll articulate it and explain it. There are certain traits that will make somebody objectively good looking.
I think you don't get it. So let's just move on to the next.
There are certain traits that will make somebody objectively good looking.
Right. So someone could be
because of that you're attracted to them.
No, that's not how it works.
I'm not attracted to them because the traits are objectively good looking.
But someone could be someone. No, so do you want to just tell me what I am for the rest of the podcast? Do you want to tell me that I'm attracted to someone?
I was just gathering from the hints you were giving. It's like that's what it just seemed like. If you're denying it, then that's fine.
Well, no. So I mean, like this is a very basic thing conceptually. I don't know if you're trying to like troll or anything, but
no,
I'm trying to be like genuine and like give you an understanding of like Looksmaxx and aesthetics. But like if you want to have like
like this whole genre of Looksmaxxing is even a thing. Like this is just bullshit come out of people who aren't very creative. You know what I mean? It's like I want to the premises and the values of the bullshit that we made up 5 minutes ago. I was here to explain that as if it's some kind of campaign trail for a fucking political party. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm here for. I was just here to campaign for Looksmaxxing, to make it more valid for people's minds, because I made up some bullshit and now I have $50,000 a month from retards.
Middle school level understandings and just make jokes the whole time.
I'm not joking.
We can do that too. Like
I might be misunderstanding. I don't know.
Well, I love to fuck around and be, but I didn't know if we were doing like a formal thing. Like if you want me to just like sit here and be all. Like
no, do whatever is most natural for you. I would say.
I was just
sit here and be retarded. He's like, just do what's natural for you. See, he's fucking funny. Matan is funny. He's good at being insulting without people even understanding that he's being insulting, and being insulting and people being very aware that he's insulting.
Lay it out for your audience, kind of explain it a little bit. But
if somebody offered you $100, but it wasn't until you offered the whole thing before it. How many times do you think it's the one it was and then this one it was and then some? Not the whole thing though, obviously, or it. Do you do it or no?
Can you repeat the question?
If somebody offered you $100, but it wasn't until he offered the whole thing before it, how many times do you think it's the one it was and then some? Not the whole thing though, obviously, or it. Do you do it or no?
What the fuck?
That's I'm not really sure what you're asking, boss.
Do you do it or no? Like, would you do it or would you not do it?
What is it? You're gonna have to specify that.
Right.
The thing for $100. But obviously not the whole thing.
But I just need a little bit of clarification on what the thing
This is another gay joke, apparently.
is.
Are you don't understand?
I just need a little bit of clarification.
We'll move on. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do you mog Marlon even though he's not black?
Is he not black? This is news to me. But no, he definitely
Marvin Gaye, is that what they're talking about?
mogs me.
He does mog you.
Yes, absolutely.
But you said he might not because he's black. And I don't know. I can't actually get an answer on if he's black. I've seen different readings here.
Well, obviously he's biracial, mixed
Is
race.
he?
Yeah. But no, he definitely mogs me, yeah. And that was just a joke clip,
Right.
Yeah.
So you think it is possible that black people can be objectively good looking?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you just think it's less likely?
Not necessarily, but there's a lot of the ratios that might not favor certain people of like African descent.
Like a wide ass nose that stretches from one cheek to the other, like that. You mean like that, or like the lips that go above the nose?
Especially like the nose and some of the chin and lip projections, like stuff like that.
What about the brain?
Well, I mean, why talk about things that are negligible?
That's a whole nother thing, and that's like a lot of like race realism stuff that I don't really.
Yeah, brains don't make people attractive anyway, so it's kind of a trick question, eh?
acknowledge or talk about.
You don't think it's true?
Well, it's just not something I'm really that well versed on. You know, I
Okay.
haven't done the research, so I couldn't speak on that.
But you're not a racist.
No.
Okay. Why?
Why am I not a racist?
We almost had him, guys.
Dude, because there are so many things to preoccupy all your neurotransmitters with than
See,
hating
that's what a retard would say who doesn't understand anything but wants to use words so that he can deflect from being uncomfortable.
other groups of people, right?
No, not when they're demonically evil Jews. I'm sorry, but that would be a thing that would bother me. And if the same type of person is always killing young blonde girls in the city, I'm going to start to have questions like maybe we have this type of thing problem here. And why the hell are they here in the first place? And why did they have all these felonies prior to actually murdering this person before anything was done? And then nothing's really done then either. And why didn't the community do what they did with the Leo Frank situation and fucking take care of justice on their own? Why has that fallen out of style? Because there's a bunch of people like him and the whole bodybuilding fucking world. All the people who are strong are not strong-willed. They're just strong muscle, and that's even fake because of the fucking shit that they're shooting in themselves. So all the quote-unquote alphas are really not alphas. And if they were, they've traded it off to be less alpha so that they could preoccupy themselves with stupid things that mean nothing, die early, and then leave us without good leaders in the fight against the evil that's happening here. Do you not see why this would be something that like another trap that the Jews would place before our feet? This whole thing. And you know how much social media feeds this thing and baits that trap? Everywhere you look, there's another six-pack, and you're like, oh my God, I don't live up to that. Or everything you look at is, oh, it's this woman in a bikini, and her ass is this big, and you don't think implants, you don't think surgeries, you don't think, some sort of effect to make their waist smaller and their ass bigger. You don't ever look at this type of stuff because you, especially if you're young, are just being bombarded with every single, account having all these bizarre, overly expressed sexual attributes. And then you look at yourself and you end up hating yourself. And then some people go the opposite direction all the way and say, well, then I'm going to transgender myself into something even less attractive and more unstable and then kill myself. Ah, great. That's okay. The system will help you with that too. The Oive system will help you with that too, including the Oive doctors. Wow, it's almost as if they had this all figured out, that they can make money from you no matter how poorly they treated your mental state, no matter how poorly they've treated poisoned your environment with all these influences. They're going to be able to make money off of you and steal, generational wealth from your family before you're gone and after you're gone. It's a good system for the Jews.
Could do looksmaxxing. You could think about, doing meth. Like, there's just so many better alternatives than like, oh, what am I going to sit
He just
here
told a 17-year-old he could be doing meth
and hate black people all day? Like,
no, that would be a complete waste of time.
Exactly. That's such a waste of time. Maybe if there was like an extra,
I do think it's better than doing meth, though.
Being racist? Dude.
Yeah, I think the scale is like this. Even this is like just doing normal activity.
If there was 6 hours...
This is being racist and doing nothing, and then at the bottom is doing meth.
If there was an extra 6 hours that I had in each day, maybe I would consider being racist. Just because I would have extra time. But right now, I just don't got the time for it.
Okay, but you would do meth instead? Like you're more... Well, actually, obviously, I mean, what... Don't you do this fucking thing on the camera? I don't even... It's like a little kid's toy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's making me look like a joke. I'm 18.
Oh, he's 18 now.
Yeah.
You're an impressive kid for 18.
Is it true that smashing your face...
You're 19, bro. Why are you talking about other people like that? You're an impressive kid for 18. You're 19. You fucking moron. And you were fucking your life up at age 14, but doing so with a smugness to make it somehow better than if you were just doing it like a retard. Right? Right. Yeah. Okay. I guess it's all in the mindset. That's what people would have you believe if you were into their mystic bullshit where they get to rewrite the reality as they go to make themselves more adequate and more accepted in that false reality that they're creating. There was something else here, but I'll just leave it alone for now.
With metal until you have a hematoma makes you more attractive?
Maybe not until you have a hematoma, but certainly creating microfractures along certain bones, like your zygos and the zygomatic arch, can certainly benefit some people aesthetically. But I would not say that you want to cause any like CT or head trauma.
But won't it look really attractive if you have a big bump coming out of your forehead?
Dude, I don't think so. I think that might not be within the ideals.
Why not?
Why not? To have a big protruding lump coming out of your forehead?
Yeah, actually, it could be very ideal because then people will treat you better. They might think you have cancer.
I think maybe we should experiment on that one. That's like kind of uncharted territories. I can't confidently speak on that one.
There's no objectives here yet because nobody's tried it. Nobody's gone this far.
Correct. Yeah. We should
Are you going to try this?
I'm thinking about it. You kind of pilled me on that.
There's a pretty easy way to do it. I did it to my body once, not on accident, but also not to make him more attractive. I just slammed the door on his head, and if you get a straight shot right here, it'll come out like this far.
Yeah. So door maxing, yeah, that should be a new Looksmaxx. That's for sure. Maybe he was sympathy maxing from like all the women in the hospital. Like
no, I slammed the door on his head because I was pissed off and he was sleeping. He wasn't trying to look better, but actually people felt bad for him because it kept getting.
I mean, I would too. You slammed the door in his face.
Well, nobody knew that. I mean, he was like barely conscious for like the rest of the day. He was like,
oh shit.
But isn't it? I mean, if people are smashing their heads until they have micro fractures, at some point this is gonna go wrong.
Well, no, I wouldn't. Let's have a little bit of clarity here. They're not smashing their heads, right? Because that's ridiculous. You're creating micro fractures in very
by
localized.
Smashing your head.
No. It's very localized and very pinpoint and specific.
Like this.
Well, you want to brace your head, right? Because all that head trauma is going to occur if you don't have an accurate brace. So, what I do is...
So you're not smashing your head in, but all that head trauma. Does he not hear himself? All that head trauma. Yeah, whiplashes. What are you talking about? You want to brace your head while you beat yourself. Yeah, you want to hold yourself up against the wall while you smack yourself in the head. Good idea. Yeah, don't hurt your neck. It would be foolish of you to hurt your neck while you're bashing yourself in the face with your own fists. Yeah, I think this part might be a little autistic, but it's like that full-blown pandas type of autism, not being a neurodivergent smart person. This is more like I am just a calm person who goes and then I made a whole thing about it. Now it's normal. Isn't that great? This is the gateway, guys, from doing to socially acceptable behavior. Thanks, Clavicular.
I'll lay down in my bed so that I've got the bracing and I'm able to just precision pinpoint the localized.
Is this a permanent thing? You'll permanently look better. Or this is just for the night.
Yeah. So you'll permanently look better, but that'll take a lot of time to kind of apply Wolf's law.
Yeah, you have to build up the scar tissue and the broken bonage to get calcification to get those cheekbones bigger, right? Is that what he's going for? Okay, cool. Yeah, for a second there I thought he was acting crazy.
But it's more of an immediate ascension with the swelling of the soft tissue.
Is there really actually any women in the world who are to be taken seriously who would only date somebody because their face looks like 3% better because they smashed it until they had a bunch of microfractures?
Your face either looks good or it looks bad. How you got there is not going to be evident.
Yeah, but it's just going to be like the final thing. Like, let's say somebody's genetics.
Right, but what happens when they find out that you don't look the way you're portraying yourself, meaning you didn't start off that way? So if they are actually trying to mate with somebody who has all the perfect characteristics and all of yours have been cosmetic surgery, well, the child's not going to come out with the same jaw structure just because you augmented yours. They're not going to have the same cheekbones. You sold. It was a bad sale of goods. You are false advertising. And when I couldn't imagine this guy and a female getting ready in the morning together. Well, he doesn't have to get up anytime because he's getting $50,000 a month for not doing shit. Just getting online whenever he feels like it and talking about how you can optimize Looksmaxx.
Can get them to a 7 out of 10. This is going to get them to what? Like a 7.05?
Well, right. How much it can ascend you is going to be, case dependent, because certain people will benefit from getting wider zygos and certain people won't, right? So that's person to person dependent.
I think they should just go for the hematoma because then it's like
Maybe they could delude themselves into thinking they're attractive. That'd probably be the best way to look smacks.
no, they won't even care anymore. They'll just be dead in the hospital or something.
Based, yeah. I do agree.
Why would your parents?
So are you saying that incels should just kill themselves?
No, I don't. I think the whole incel culture is like, I'm not an incel. I don't talk to women. So, but I'm not an incel.
You're voluntarily celibate.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Like, I feel like if I went around trying to
But how
talk
do you
to
make-
them,
He's
How do you-
18 years old. He's a millionaire. He doesn't have to worry about what he does and what he doesn't do. He's 18. You know what I mean? Eventually, he'll find a nice billy goat or something, and he'll have offspring.
How do you know for sure that you're voluntary?
I guess it's
versus
possible
involuntary?
that I'm a voluntary celibate who's also would be an incel,
But
but
you can't be both. It's like you're either an incel.
yeah, but I don't know the answer for sure. You're right. It is one or the other, but
I think you would be able to probably get a girl. I think you do fine.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a waste of time. And when it comes to the incels,
Based. Yeah.
it's like, well, your entire thing is based off. What do you mean based?
Like I agree with you. Like that's.
But
a
your
good
whole
point.
thing is based off getting women.
Well, what you said about them being a waste of time, and that's not my whole thing, right? I just want to mog people. I don't give a fuck
That's right.
about.
He wants to look better than everybody else. He wants to make everybody else acknowledge that they are inferior to him. I think that's what really mogging is that either through spite and resentment or through acceptance and acknowledgement or cowering before him. This is what his objective is when he goes out. He wants people to turn their head down to the floor because they're inferior. That's what mogging, I think, actually means. And I'm starting to get an understanding for it. And that's what gets him off is you have to be at a level of inferiority or feeling inferior. It doesn't necessarily mean it's real. That you're this worried about not being exceptional that you go through all these artificial methods, and this goes to prove that you don't understand what being exceptional actually entails because you don't get it through cheats and surgeries. That's not how that works. Either you have the tether to the higher creator, the higher power, the benevolent creator. Either you are born with a soul or you weren't, or you gave it up somewhere along the way, like the Oives, maybe, by dicking around with the black magic that they did, forever cursing everything that they've ever touched after that. But if you're that worried that it's not even the reality of the situation, right? You're just surface level trying to make yourself feel better than the mass trash, which isn't hard to do. Intellectually, it's not hard to do. You ever have a conversation with somebody outside at a bar, you'll very quickly feel like the smartest person in the world. And that's and I bet you can still embody that intellect probably 6 or 8 or 10 drinks longer than they can retain their tiny little bit of an island of intellect that they may actually be grasping to without drowning. Like that's really what we're talking about here. Like you can't wish yourself into a soul. You can maybe, if you have a spark, you might be able to cultivate that, doing better things than what this is. But to just put on the costume of being better or not, or like I want to stand out, and I don't want to be normal. He says he used to be a normie. Well, you don't used to be anything. You either are or you're not. And this whole word normie is stupid. Anybody who through actual effort, study, athletics, being active, you can make something out of what you were given, the hands you were dealt. He wants to cheat on the game. He doesn't want to do anything with the cards he was dealt. He wants to cheat the game and take the prize money. But while he's doing it, he wants to make everybody else who's at the table feel like they're lost. Cheat the game, make everybody else feel like they lost, and then smugly walk away with the pot, with the money. That's not the same. And that's not showing that you're superior to anybody. That's like a Jewish way of finding superiority by measuring it in artificial or material means, which actually mean nothing over time or ever, really. He's not a nicer person because of what he does. He doesn't bring value like of a good human being who would be there for you as a friend or any of that stuff. That's not anything he's concerned with. He doesn't even value hard work. So why would he jump to assist somebody else when they needed them? These are the things that really make you better than the rest, right? Being responsive to other people's needs and being empathetic to them. These aren't things that he possesses. He doesn't give a shit about that. And if he does, and he's just being naive and immature right now, well, he's going way off the path, way off a tangent to do all this other wicked, stupid shit because all he wants to do is make other people feel lesser than him so that he can feel like he's worth something. And the reality of it is because he wants to feel like he's worth something. Like he can sit there and be smug all day, but how real is it if the only way he can validate himself is by invalidating other people and constantly calling people normies? It's like he hates mankind. He wasn't even alive long enough to hate mankind. He must have been picked on a little bit. He wasn't even alive long enough to hate mankind before he started taking drastic measures against it. I went through fucking absolute hell in high school and grade school. Not high school, but grade school and middle school. I went through absolute hell. I changed school, so I was a new kid. I went from knowing about everybody and being, having a lot of family in that town to moving to a different town and being like the noob. And then I went through the whole phase. I went through the fat kid phase. I went through all that shit. And then I got hit puberty and all that bullshit went away. But in the meantime, I was in all kinds of fights. But I got into them, I didn't start saying I'm gonna Looksmaxx or whatever the fuck this nonsense is. You take a shower, you wear deodorant, you get a haircut, and you put down the fork and you do some exercise and you play soccer and you're good, right? Right. But this guy, what adversity did he actually have to make him this embittered? And then you have to ask yourself: is it because his family? Was his family were they involved in athleticism? Do they have a certain type of value system that would have attributed to this? Were they judgmental towards each other and it rubbed off on him because he perceived that as, maybe a danger or threat to his own self-perceived inadequacies? Like even if his mom and the dad were picking on each other or picking on people and together, like saying, look at her hair, look at her stomach, and then he hears this and he's like, oh my God, this is what people do when they are looking at other people. You know what I mean? Like there's something deep in this, or he's just a completely detached. He is an incel in the sense that he has no soul. I mean, that's where I'm at right now. I don't see any goodness in the guy.
You don't even care about picking up women. You just want to look better than other dudes.
Well, no, that's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that it is certainly a waste of time. Do I do it? Am I going to probably do it within the next few days? Go talk to women and waste a bunch of time at bars and stuff? Yeah, I'm going to fucking do it. I'm a young guy. That's, kind of how we operate. But, what I'm trying to get out of these, extreme Looksmaxxing.
Well, I'm going to tell everybody, what's funny is that you're awfully famous for anybody to be letting you into a bar knowing goddamn well that you're 19. They should all be held liable if they don't kick your ass out. I don't give a shit what kind of fake ID you have or what kind of camera crew you walk in with. See, is that the reason why they let you in? Does the publicity for their establishment outweigh the liability that could come from it? Is that why? Because how the hell else at 18 and 19 were you a bouncer at places? You have to be old enough to be inside to be a bouncer. You're not 21. So what is all this nonsense? And a bouncer, you don't have any arms, dude. Height makes you a bouncer? Can you fight? I swear to God, you'd be running from fists because you don't want anybody to hurt your pretty looks unless they punch you just right in the spot, and then they have to do it a bunch of times, right? But don't get the eyebrow because then you're get a protruding, Neanderthal head. Don't hit the ear because then it'll cauliflower. Yeah. Don't hurt the precious nose, dude. You would not be a good bouncer.
Protocols is, to basically mog people. That's like my main goal.
So he literally just said his goal in life through going through all this is to shit on people. And because of their looks, he's assessing their value through their looks. Not by what kind of people they are, but by their looks, because that's what matters most to him. Is that the type of person you want to influence your child? Oh, and also he does meth. But I mean, whatever. This guy gets this guy gets sponsors. This guy doesn't. Isn't that great? He also has 1 million followers. Can you believe that this kid has 1 million followers? Do you see what I mean about the shit that gets promoted doesn't have any value to it?
I want to grab something. We have a little game I wanted to play with you. So I have some photos here of some different people.
Okay.
And I wanted you to rate them objectively.
Oh, God.
And tell me if they're good looking, if they're not good looking.
This is my least favorite bit, but we'll do it.
Why is
I got you. I'll do it for you. You came all the way to Florida, so...
Why don't you like this?
They came to him. So obviously, like, this is a mobile thing, but this is his setup in just about every interview. If you guys have never seen Matan before, it's always this weird kill room that looks like it's going to be either Mr. Mr. IDF in the Hamas / Al Qaeda outfit here, or whatever the hell. It looks like they're gonna Dexter his ass before they're done.
Well, it just gets overwhelming, right? Every time I go to a fucking bar or whatever, 1,000 drunk, coked up fucking kids. Can you rate me, Clav? Can you rate me? It just gets overwhelming. But
Right.
Why? Oh yeah, right. Because you hate so much the attention. That's why you go out in public in the first place, so that people don't make a big deal about you, and then you rate them. The fact that somebody asked for you to rate them shows they have already lost all manliness. Like, hey, other man, will you rate me and how handsome you think I am? Because your opinion matters more than my self-respect. Like, why would you let this fucking guy who's been put together like a Mr. Potato Head trying to fit all the right parts on his face to make himself look attractive? Why the hell would this guy's opinion matter? You want to see what he used to look like? You don't, trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have to make this objective, okay?
This spikes my cortisol. Not a lot does, but this gets me stressed out. I would say... Oh, you want me to hold it up?
Yeah. And then you can rate this person. I think that's actually, no homo, a very attractive guy.
Yeah, I think this guy mogs. I think we should all be aiming for this look with the synthol. I think I might go do my synthol injections.
Because look at his like.
Well, he injects everything else now. I mean, might as well go with synthol.
His shoulders there.
Yeah, this guy kind of looks like Rich Piana.
Kind of looks like you, don't you think?
A little. I wish, dude.
You shouldn't talk about Rich Piana like that. The word Rich Piana should never come out of this fag's mouth.
Dude, I wish I looked like this guy.
Okay, so out of the rating goes up to 7, I believe, right?
It goes up to 8 on the PSL scale, but we could do the decile thing.
Let's do PSL.
PSL. I would give this guy about maybe a 2.5 PSL.
2.5. How does anybody expect to get a decent rating if that guy's just a 2.5?
Well, I don't know. It looks like this guy has fucking bee stings all over his shoulders, and he's not exactly the greatest looking facially either. This is just a sad case of autism, essentially.
It's not autism. You throw that word around an awful lot. You throw that word around, like it's become apparent to me that you don't know what that word means.
This is when you get not autism.
This is when you get retardation, not autism. He says. He thinks, yeah. I don't think he doesn't understand what any of this means. Yeah, you know that true autism and not like just something that they like to group into the spectrum, like full-blown pandas, and these are all debilitating things. You have a diaper typically the rest of your life, or you have massive headaches because of the shit that they gave you through the injections, and you scream all night. and all the time. Like you have what they call that thing, encephalitis, I think is what they call it, right? When you have like the brain swelling, there's all kinds of problems that occur with quote unquote autism. It's not like Rain Man, where even then that's still not something that a person could be. Even Rain Man couldn't properly take care of himself. You don't have that. What you have is probably what they consider Asperger's, but all these are words. These are all words and spells of the sorcerers. And it's not because you are ODD or, oppositionally defiant, because you believe hook, line, and sinker into the system, and you believe in it so much that you're injecting their poisons into you, thinking that that's going to give you some sort of advantage over everybody else. It was only a matter of time before something like you was created by the society, and now here you are, and now here they are promoting your poison to others. Now, is it funny what he's doing? Does he have is he being a good sport? Absolutely. Absolutely. He's doing fine right now. But what I'm saying is what's important, and not to lose sight of these things, because you don't want this asshole to soft and sweet talk his way into being accepted by you, so that therefore it's acceptable for your children to be influenced by someone like this.
We'll really.
When I say children, I mean teens, young adults. Children is just a word I try to use instead of saying kids.
Hard maxing.
Yeah, I know, but he was a about it. You want to be an autist about your hard maxes. There's like a very clear distinction.
I have autism, bro.
But this guy Moggs, all right?
Okay, so next one. So that guy's a 2.5. That's a ridiculous rating.
Is it really ridiculous? I mean, take a look at this guy.
I give him a 6.
This guy is 6?
That's a Chad light.
A Chad light? I don't know, dude. That's pretty fucked. A 6? You know what? Fuck it.
Okay. The next one. This guy might even be more attractive than the last one.
Okay. Black Stephen Hawking. Wow. Take a look at this one. I feel like he ascended from like becoming black in this photo. Don't you think?
I don't think that's Stephen Hawking.
It kind of looks like it.
I think he's also just disabled.
I'm pretty sure that's a black edited version of Stephen Hawking.
No, he's a real guy, Mr. Hawking. Hawking.
Huh? Hawking? What's this?
That's the guy's name. Hawking.
Hawking. All right.
Yeah. Out of
this is Stephen Crippen, I think.
Yeah. So what do you? Yeah. Stephen Hawker. What's the guy's name? I don't even remember the.
Deshaun Walker.
I don't even know.
Let's just call him Deshaun.
What does he get?
I would say that he definitely ascended from, the change in phenotype. So I'm gonna give this guy maybe like a 3 PSL.
That's it.
That's it.
You have that guy. Okay, don't bullshit around. This is more attractive than this. The guy filled with oil.
Yeah, maybe facially a little bit, but it's certainly close. Neither of them are good looking.
Here's the next one.
Sigma Frog. Well, that's obviously Giga Chad. I mean, this goes without saying.
I don't know what is above Chad, but
this is like, well, I mean, this is like a rhetorical question. I feel like, what PSL is this? It's obviously 8.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so
glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
It just gets stupid, but it's whatever.
That's long neck.
Lick here.
He's trying to look like him.
He's coming. No, I feel like you should try to mog him.
He's had a feeding tube in his stomach or something. You see the hole right there? They didn't feed him very good. What's that on his thumb? What's he holding on to? Looks like he's got his thumb like band-aided up or something like that. What the hell? He's had a feeding tube, it looks like. Maybe he's had heart surgery or something.
Not look like him. He's almost there. Let's take a look. Not really.
What do you give long neck?
I give long neck. Also, I'm probably gonna give him 2 PSL.
2? That's it?
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's accurate. I would say.
Yeah. Lick here. Wow, that's interesting.
It's kind of a disgusting human.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, and then the last one.
Last one. Oh.
What do you give this guy?
It's not exactly a great photo of me. I don't know.
That's not you.
This must have been a night after drinking or some shit.
No, that's not you. Because
Imagine
Sure, you already
I
rated
fucked up my
yourself.
brain so bad from all the bone smashing. This is what I actually look like, and I'm tripping.
that's not you. I mean, maybe that could happen one day.
Okay, my bad. This guy, oof, definitely like a 2.5 or 3 PSL.
That's it.
Maybe 3.25.
So not counting the frog because it's obviously not fair. He's number one. Out of all of these people, who's number one?
Who's number one? No, that guy's very bad facially. That's a really hard one. Let's see. Can you pass these back to me?
Yeah, sure. I mean, feel free to take them and how you like.
Okay. Let's put them. I didn't exactly do. Okay.
I think it's the guy with oil in his head.
You think so?
Yeah, because you're saying he's not attractive facially. Take in
No.
mind, by the way, that he's a little bit bloated because he probably just had oil.
Well, yeah. I mean, but not
It's
his
like a
face.
car.
Not his face. I mean, he would definitely be the best looking if he were to be at a reasonable body fat. And we're comparing him to a guy who's like a paraplegic, who's got no control over
Yeah, he's
any of
low.
his muscles.
I think he's the lowest.
I would say that arguably he would be more attractive if he had a little bit of control over his, muscles potentially. He could definitely
But
beat
this
out
is
this
ifs
guy.
and whats and
That's true.
woods, but he doesn't.
But yeah,
He's a cripple.
right now, out of all these
He's a
people
blood and a cripple.
who would perform the best in the sexual market value, probably would be this comical clown right here. But yeah, no. So in terms of,
I think you're jealous of him. I think that's why you're being so negative towards the oil guy.
You got me there.
You keep calling him a clown, but let me tell you something. Where that guy's from, probably they think that shit looks like so cool.
Where do you think he's from?
Probably not the smartest place. The IQ over there is probably like 60, but it doesn't matter.
Probably
because
not
over
the
there,
smartest place.
he's like
I
the
feel like that
peak
makes
male.
it easier to get chicks.
No, because they all want to look like this, but none of them can afford the oil.
Yeah.
Even though it's probably that's where the oil comes
So what do you
from.
think they're doing in there? Like gutter oil?
No, this guy probably has the money to afford the oil. That's what separates him.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's the frog.
Brutal money pill right there.
Yeah. Would you treat a homeless man better if he was extremely attractive?
I think that everyone would. That's called the halo effect, right? So people who are homeless or people who are good looking, sorry, are going to get opportunities that they're, not.
I'm asking about you personally.
Well, it'd be a subconscious thing. It's not really something that people have control over. It's just a subconscious bias. That's, essentially.
I feel like you can try to be conscious about that though, especially if you know that it's normally a subconscious thing.
Well, I'm someone who's able to identify, these biases because I understand the black pill. But, maybe normies would just do it subconsciously and not realize why.
Do you think it's better to be on the black pill or a normie?
I would say that the black pill is a blessing and a curse because it gives a lot of people severe body dysmorphia, ruins them socially, and it could be hugely detrimental to people's mental health.
Right.
But it is a necessary truth, right? You have to acknowledge hard truths no matter what they do to you, no matter what the consequences are, instead of living in fantasy land, essentially. That it's easy to live in fantasy land. That's why the blue pill
Yeah, of course.
exists. Like, who doesn't
Who
want to
makes better refrigerators, Bosch or Whirlpool?
Well, I don't know, but ignorance is bliss. The commonly, saying, it's kind of how it works.
Bosch or Whirlpool? If you were to buy a refrigerator,
Bosch or Whirlpool?
Whirlpool
Whirlpool.
or Bosch.
I feel like Whirlpool sounds a little better. Fridge manufacturing. What is this, like a secret, like, terrorist organization or something that I just...
No, that's the names of the people who produce refrigerators.
Okay. I didn't know if that was a gotcha moment.
What's the gotcha? That you don't know about refrigerators?
I guess not.
I guess I got you there. That wasn't really the intent of it. Is the stereotype that black people have darker skin than white people true? And is it racist?
Is the stereotype true? I think I'd have to do a little bit of research on that one and get back to you. But I'd say it's possible. I don't want to confidently say.
Is it racist? Is it a racist stereotype? Because there are some racist stereotypes, like, maybe this group of people is more dangerous, and then there's some true stereotypes, like Asians eating dogs.
Well, the production of melanin as an adaptation for black people, that could be racist. I feel like a lot of evolution is racist, so maybe it is.
Right, some of them might have actually not wanted the melanin.
Maybe not. Yeah, it kind of just like was hurled upon them by
Is that like
God,
a
by
white
nature.
pill?
Dude, that's just like an evolution pill, a science pill, if anything.
How can they become white? Is that part of hard maxing?
How can they become white?
Maybe
well,
before they go out every night, they paint themselves white.
I'm sure that's been done before by some crazy lunatic, but a lot of the differences between white people and black people are not only pigment related, right? So that's why you can easily identify someone.
I'm pretty shocked that you're like
Nigga, please.
autistic or neurodivergent. You sound incredibly normal.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Like, I wouldn't have guessed that, to be completely honest.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sociable of a guy, but
Right.
you know, that doesn't mean I'm like the most normal person.
No, but I'm saying you just speak in...
I mean, I just do meth and steroids since I was 14 and inject myself with every goddamn thing you could think of, punch myself in the face, and I made it into a cosmetic arts and crafts project to punch myself in the face because I was going to do it anyway. So I might as well punch myself in self-hate, but spin it as looksmaxxing, which is something no one's ever thought of before.
such a way and about subjects that it's like, wow, this guy isn't completely normal.
Well, there you go. I mean, in a world full of lies, the truth just sounds like, you know.
What truth do you? Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, that's a true statement. But what the fuck are you talking about?
A bit different, I guess. But
Right. Why are people mad at Dr. Clav for injecting a 17-year-old girl's face with fat dissolver?
well, because they don't realize how low the risk profile is for doing something like an Aqualux, right? This can't cause any vascular occlusion. So the worst that really could happen if you were to do something like nick a vein is just slight bruising. Like it's extremely safe to do Aqualux.
Okay, I'm gonna let him say this because he just catches him in the bullshit himself. Matan did an okay job here.
Yeah, but by that argument, couldn't you also just do it to like a 10-year-old and the same effect would still apply?
Well, someone who's 10 years old is going to have their facial fat redistribute a lot of times and go through a lot of lipogenesis throughout their years.
Couldn't you say the same about a 17-year-old? Maybe not as much as a 10-year-old, but...
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's a little bit early in life to be doing.
So imagine this: he does this to himself, and he's just now 19. But he's saying, yeah, to 17-year-old, he's doing it to her with full awareness that it's not the best thing for her, and that there's potential regret to follow. But he's doing it anyway. And if you're a stupid, impressionable girl, I don't mean stupid, I kind of mean that, but I kind of don't. Just young, right? And this dude is paying attention to you, and you're gonna just let him do whatever weird thing he's doing, right? If you're the female and you're 17 and you're on a video, so now it's like fame and fortune or whatever, you know, it's like you're gonna just let him use you as a guinea pig.
And things like that, but
So maybe don't do it in the future?
well, the risk profile is so low where it's not really that big of a deal.
So Matan just said, well, maybe you wouldn't do that to somebody who's 17 in the future. And he's like, well, he's still not catching that he's trying to give him an out and, you know, maybe acknowledge that maybe that wasn't the best idea. He says, well, the risk factor is so low. Risk factor to you is so low because you're not the one being injected and poisoned with freaking fat dissolver. But you're doing it to somebody else, and you're personally doing it rather than just recommending it. You're actually conducting the procedure. And how this is okay, I have no idea.
I just wouldn't want to personally
It's
go
not like he's painting her goddamn fingernails.
through all the swelling phase.
There's a skinny girl with very thin skin as it is, and he's putting fat dissolver under her eyes or whatever the hell it was.
From the Aqualux, you know, the oil sitting in your cheeks, similar to this guy right here, just for the lipogenesis to occur once again.
I don't. So you were trying to make your girlfriend look like this guy?
Not my girlfriend, but
Or
no,
whoever it was, that girl that you were with. You wanted her to look like him? That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a pretty good-looking guy. And you said that you were explaining earlier that some good looks are objective, but you're also not subjectively. You're personally attracted to men like that, right?
Oh, men like this?
Yes.
I feel like who wouldn't be? Look at this.
I'm not, because I'm not gay, but it's like if I was, I don't know.
Yeah, this would be your choice. Who would you choose out of the The photos right
Objectively, the best looking is the guy with the oil.
here. If you were homosexual, who would you choose? Because you're not.
I'm not a homosexual, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, no, not the black, like, retarded guy. Also not long neck. I think long neck's an evil.
This guy is not a homosexual. Remember. But anyway.
And then this is just a picture of you.
Oh, that was a picture of me.
No,
Fuck,
it's
dude.
not.
Okay.
And then so obviously the answer is the guy with the oil.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, this is, are we counting the frog? Or it's not fair?
Nah, that's not fair. That's just makes it too easy.
Yes. What would be more convincing to a woman? A PSL rating of 7 or a loaded shot?
More convincing to a woman?
A PS elevator or loaded shotgun.
I would say that a rating of 7 PSL probably.
More than a loaded shot?
Arguably.
I think you're gonna need a truth max because that's not right.
No,
If you go out into a bar with a and
Mm-hmm.
you're telling the woman to get into your car,
I just don't think that you've ever experienced 7 PSL before. I think you'd be very shocked.
I don't. What PSL do you think that you are? For
I don't
example?
rate myself. That's one thing I'll never do because that just makes the whole thing feel like somewhat narcissistic, and I don't
The
want
whole
to
fucking thing is narcissistic in the first place. You go out there to make people feel bad about themselves, but you don't rate yourself, and you wear capri pants.
ever have that illusion. You know?
I feel like I've seen people who are 7 PSL online according to your standards, and there's no way they're more convincing than a
Like who would you say is an example of that?
the frog.
The frog? I don't know, dude. The frog walks into a bar and he tells a girl to go home with him. I'd say that's probably as convincing as, you know, maybe someone like this guy going in with a loaded I feel like they might just grab it out of his hand and, you know, clock him in the head with it.
A woman would do that? No way.
Against this guy?
This. What are they gonna do? This guy would like. This is. If you see a guy like this walk into a bar with a it's like you try to get him to shoot you before he like shoots your leg and tries to eat you.
I'd say it's worth a discussion. That's definitely worth like a question and like a
That's part of the
presidential
black
debate.
pill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There should definitely be like a sit down of like a black pill council to figure that one out.
Is it true that if you're attractive enough, you can turn into a wasp?
Could turn into a wasp? I haven't experienced that, so I maybe.
So you're just not attractive enough.
Yeah,
then.
that's what I was about to say. Maybe I keep looksmaxxing. I'll have an answer for you.
And is this something
Part
that
two.
you can do voluntarily, or does it just happen randomly?
Well, like I said,
Do you
I'm
get to
not.
control this?
I'm not attractive enough to where I've got to experience that pleasure of turning into a wasp.
But maybe this is something you can figure out.
I'm trying to get there. Hopefully, after my double jaw surgery, I'll be able to let you know about
Is
that.
that a joke that you're going to do that, or you're
No.
really going to get a double jaw
I'm
surgery?
really going to get a double jaw
But
surgery.
isn't your face gonna have to be wrapped up for many months?
Not many months. Certainly a couple of weeks. There's going to be severe swelling, but I actually just met a girl the other night who had a double jaw surgery and was 2 months post-op, and you really couldn't even notice at all that she had any work done. So that was kind of a
So when they separate and stretch it all out and do whatever weird shit that they're gonna do with it, and the titanium and all that stuff that's holding it all together, do you just accept that the bones are gonna heal back together when they're being separated out and augmented and twisted and turned to make a different shape underneath your skin? And is that really? Does he really need that? I mean, I just think it's gonna go horribly wrong. He's gonna get horse face. He's gonna have the big like side muscles on his jaw. It's gonna look stupid. Is all I'm getting at. And yeah, to each his own. But hopefully he has plenty of pain meds. And I wouldn't do meth during that, but he's gonna have to lay off the meth because that doesn't help you heal very well. It kind of shuts down the whole healing process when you're on meth. It makes bones very brittle, which surprisingly he doesn't know that.
white pill, kind of reassuring that
It sucks away all your freaking nutrients. So how the hell is this guy punching himself in the face and doing all this other stuff? I bet he could snap if he's doing the meth like he says he is. He's probably ready to break a bone anyway.
really not that bad.
At what age did you decide that you were gonna get double jaw surgery?
I decided in April of 2024. So
Also recently, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You don't think that it's risky that it's gonna fuck your face up?
well, there's risk in everything, right? There's always going to be risk, but with risk comes, you know, higher reward.
Which
so
is
that's
what?
why I'm saying that.
What's the reward that you get for having a different shaped jaw? I'm curious. I mean, I can understand having no chin or no bottom jaw at all and not being able to chew because you'd have to do that but What reward do you get? The girls that you already said are not worth it? What is it you're actually trying to do, bud? He doesn't really have a clear defined path in anything that he talks about. And everything he does is a contradiction of the next thought. I want to go out there and I want to make myself look prettier than the other man because he's totally not gay. Which is fine, whatever. You need that type of feedback, consistent feedback that you're the special boy, so that you can live with yourself. There's gonna be a tipping point where the shit that you're doing is gonna be harder and harder for you to ignore that you're doing these gay things in order to get this type of approval and appreciation from people whom you already said don't mean anything to you anyway. What a nice cycle to be in.
Weighed out all the pros and the cons, and I've realized that this is the way to go.
It's more likely to you that it will go well than not.
Correct. Yeah. And I don't really think that if I'm looking at the entire picture that there's anything that could go wrong, even if it was at a detriment to me aesthetically. I think what it's going to do for my social media virality. Now, this is not the reasoning, just to clarify that I decided to go this route. This was
You're saying that you're going to go viral because your face looks like it exploded if it goes wrong?
Well, could be, you know? So there's really no lose in this scenario.
Yeah, I feel like there is. I feel like if it goes wrong, you'll go viral, and then
Do you think I'll go more viral if it goes right or if it goes wrong?
If it goes wrong, but I don't think it's going to be a sustainable thing to stay that viral.
That's probably true. Yeah. Well, I think it's going to go right. Okay, I wouldn't have ever decided to go that route just based off of virality. I've done extensive research on, plastic surgery. And this is something that not a lot of people...
He did extensive research on plastic surgery, on the particular surgery that you're getting, or just the generic topic or genre or category of plastic surgery. Because having a little bit of something put in your nose because you get it shattered in a car accident versus having your jaw reconstructed, but because you broke it on purpose, it's like you're not saving anything. You're rejecting something that you had no problems with in the quest to make it more suitable to your desires. And it just seems like if we lived in a just world, there'd be some sort of retribution for that type of behavior.
People even know about when they're commenting, oh, this is crazy. It's like you've probably never heard of, some of these osteotomies, some of these cuts until I mention them. So for you to speak on them, it just seems a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like you don't even know what you're talking about. Listen to me, I'm on meth. But right. I'm actually on a week break.
Yeah, it's like, that's funny. He said, it's like you saying, you don't even know what you're talking about. Look at me, I'm on meth. So therefore you must listen to me. That's right, because you should always listen to your local meth head. It's like a calm meth head, right? Still, his ideas are just as crazy. And if he has a power drill with a a DeWalt battery in it, you'll see him at 3 a.m. trying to, rehang his fucking door. But totally normal.
I'm on now.
Well, no, I
just taking shit apart in the backyard to put it back together again at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
I haven't actually really been doing as many drugs recently.
Okay.
I haven't even been drinking caffeine as much.
When was the last time that you were on a drug?
Well, I had to do my laundry like a few days ago, so I had to do a line to get that in the wash.
Yeah, so I mean, you just said it was a little while since you
needed to do a line to put laundry in. What? I'm doing laundry all the wrong way. I'm depressed now.
Last did it. I mean, what, like 2 days ago was a long time for that?
A little while ago, it's like, it's been like 12 hours, Right. It's been more than 12 hours.
I think it's
a little while.
I mean, you seem like a nice guy and extremely normal. But I feel like it's unfortunate because you're doing all of these normal ways to go about Looksmaxxing, but for whatever reason, you're probably just going to have a heart attack.
Yeah, that's the thing about cocaine that's so risky. Is you could just have a heart attack or a heart arrhythmia like on the spot and die. Doesn't matter if you're perfectly healthy because of how dangerous the drug profile is. Whereas meth is extremely cardiotoxic with the vasoconstriction, but it's over a long period of time, so you're kind of slowly detrimenting yourself. But yeah, with the
meth.
coke, you can just
But
go
it's,
like that.
but it becomes safer when you do it like the way you're doing it, where you do
Neither
both
of them
at
are
the same time.
Well, yeah, that's arguably the worst thing that you could do.
Rappers make so much money. Why don't you become a rapper and make so much money?
Well, because I'm not black.
There's some white rappers like
None that are good.
Eminem was pretty good.
Score
Not
one for
anymore,
Clav.
maybe, but
Nah, I don't think he was ever good.
he was pretty good back in the day.
Yeah,
But there's some other ones. It doesn't even matter if you're good. I mean, they're successful and they make so much money.
Yeah, they're definitely nothing
Yes,
about
I
rap
mean-
is good. That's another Jew exploitation of human. It's like it's parading around the least talented people, and some person who mixes their shit and makes it listenable because they put a beat in it, and it's just a bunch of arrogance and obnoxiousness and low intellect spewing that rhymes.
I mean, I don't really think I could really rap that well. I might have to practice and get back to you. Could
One
be like
fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, something like that.
an undiscovered talent of mine.
But don't you already have an advantage because you're willing to say the N-word, especially online, so you could kind of almost sound like a black rapper?
No, because the N-word is just like, it doesn't really make or break a rapper. I don't really think it's that necessary.
I think if a black rapper wasn't willing to say the N-word, it might not be helpful for him.
Yeah, it would definitely go against him.
And if a white rapper did it, it's like he's going to get a lot of virality.
Yeah, but like I've already got that from streaming. And I don't even
Yeah, so
mean...
you have a boost right now. Imagine if you...
But dude, that's the thing. Like, I don't even mean to like do it as a way to be an edgelord or anything. It's just like, it's just casual
Another stupid term.
conversation that occurs. Like, I'm not...
Right. Same with me.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I hate when people say like, "Can you say it?" It's like it feels equivalent to, "Can you do the thing?" It's like, dude, I'm not doing that for you. You know.
What will you do when you become old and your looks are no longer relevant?
Suicide.
Well, hopefully, I've able to establish myself, with my status and
My guess is he won't live that long.
hopefully,
Because
well,
you can keep your looks until you're... Well, I mean, you could keep your looks until you're in your 60s. But he's not going to get that far. Dude's already taking methamphetamines because for his looks, because that's how he rationalizes just being a meth head, being a young white meth head, right? Sure, okay. So you're a young white meth head, and you've convinced yourself that you need to convince the world that this is okay because it's for your sunken in cheek look, because and it helps you with your appetite. And so do many other things, including not being a bitch.
maybe I could rely on those metrics.
Or, by the way, having your 90 essential nutrients in your body so that you don't get the cravings because your body's not screaming out for the things that it's missing. Get your 90 essential nutrients from Azure Well. Go to my site, semperfryllc.com. Want to know how? Right here. See this? Semper Fi. Boom. It's right in the description of the link, and then you click that. Get the first top 3 and then the IP6. 1, 2, 3, IP6. Boom. Use code BB5 when you're done and get a total of anywhere between 15 and I think probably like 17% on some of them off the total. All right, back.
as opposed to looks.
Do you think those are generally more important than looks or no?
I would say that looks will probably get you further, and the extent of wealth and status that you need to be able to compete with some of the top percentile people in terms of looks
But here's the idea of the competition part. What are you competing for? If the prize is bullshit, what the fuck does it matter if there's a competition going on? So if you think that superficial women who want only that are hypergamous by nature, and they will always try to one up their status, but with the males to get something better if they think they can, fudge their way into it and hack their way into getting something that they don't deserve. What does that have to do with you? Like that doesn't seem like something that you would want, and you shouldn't be wanting to chase that because then that's not going to be very fulfilling either, knowing what type of person that they are. So just because there's a competition doesn't mean it's worth winning it. And if there is no competition, like simply it's in your head that you have to be better than everyone else, that just goes to show that you'll never have any true friends because you'll constantly be at odds with everyone or envious all the time, you're going to have hidden inner envy that's going to turn you into an asshole because you're going to talk down to people who you feel threatened by. And in reality, you feel inferior, but you want to make yourself, you're talking yourself up to yourself to feel better about feeling inferior, regardless if you actually are or not. But the fact that you're going through that process in your head tells me that at least mental stability wise, you are definitely inferior to them, unless they're jerking off into a fire hydrant at the time. I don't know.
It's outrageous, you know, like even making $1 million a year, right? Putting yourself into like the top 0.75% of the United States. That's really not going to allow you to outcompete someone who's like a 7.
Who are you competing against? Who are you competing against, and what are you competing for? Yeah, that means you're giving the whole world over to women to decide what's of value and what's not, if that's what you're actually saying. In which case, you could land a much more attractive girl who's not as fucking whacked out of her head about superficiality. They exist, but you'll never even look at those, even though they're more attractive, because they're not behaving with this aura of being, above certain things. So if they don't feel like they're above you, or that you have to work for that piece of garbage that they are, then you're not going to think that there's anything to chase. Even though someone who would have who accepts you for all of your weirdnesses and is super attractive, you're going to overlook them because you're going to think that, yeah, you're not even playing the game right. It's kind of pathetic. He's going to end up unhappy no matter what he does.
ESL guy who's making fuck all money, and just it's outrageous of a disparity. But they're certainly all important.
I would argue that.
Don't you think that looking right across to this table, looking at Matan, who has almost 2 million followers on 1,410,000 people watch this guy. Doesn't he kind of break the entire structure of his belief system? That he didn't get there with looks. He didn't get there with talent. He didn't get there with an appropriate freaking studio or setup, aside from like microphones. I'm sure that's fine. But what is it? How does this experience that he's going through right now, with all this weirdness that would be repulsive to most people, but yet he has almost 1.5 million people watching it, doesn't that show that you can be successful without any other thing that's traditionally in your head have any value whatsoever? Doesn't this whole experience prove him wrong? He's saying a high value Giga Chad, whatever PSL 7 or 8 is going to be better than him and is going to have more money than him simply because they're more attractive than him. It's like, look at Matan. He's blowing you out of the water right now. I'm probably sure he's making more money than the Clav, at least at the moment.
The people who would, it just depends on who you're even trying to get with. Like, it wouldn't matter. The guy with the money can hire a lot of hookers, no?
Yeah, you don't even really need a lot of money to get certain escorts. It's like usually about $125 an hour.
He says it all whispery.
You knew that off the top right there. That was quick.
Of course, yeah.
Is that something you've done before?
I've never gotten an escort myself, but I do know these numbers from Looksmaxxing.
This is like a popular
thing escort max. Yeah, escort maxing is a way to escape inceldom, but I don't really think that it counts as like.
So maxing out your looks, I can understand. What the hell is escort maxing? Now we're just making up stuff that doesn't make any sense. You maximize the amount of escorts you have? Look, what is... At some point, the words have to fucking mean something. They have to. Otherwise, you need to stop saying them.
Yeah, I don't think that counts either.
No, yeah, it's like it's cheating. Yeah, escort maxing was a popular one back in the day.
Is Mr. Beast the Antichrist?
What day? You're 19.
Yes.
Go ahead.
He says, is Mr. Beast the Antichrist? Excuse me.
Is Mr. Beast the Antichrist?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Beast is a textbook sociopath. I don't really think that he cares whatsoever about any of the causes once that camera turns off, I think his big old smile goes, dark in a second. I think it's very predictable that, he acts the way he acts based on some of the things I've heard behind closed doors. I don't really think that he's someone who genuinely cares. I think he's a very corporate-minded individual. And people will come on and say, well, he's done 100 times more for people than you have. But it's like, yeah, but I'm not sitting here pretending like I'm, building wells in Africa. Like, I'm not pretending to be some virtuous,
Right. Why didn't he build those wells in England?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's turning into the third world again. So we might as well, take it back to
and it's like, you know what? This guy clearly needs food and Mr. Beast has never helped him. So it's like, does Mr. Beast even care about Longneck, who's the next guest, in 5 seconds?
In 5 seconds.
Maybe 5 minutes, I guess. He's on the way right now.
Oh, wow. Good stuff. You really got him fucking lined up.
Yeah, I have Longneck coming in right after.
Okay.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on. That's it. I have to film with Longneck in 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.